Yo, what up?
Yo, how it's going today? Everybody good?
Everybody great. Antonio Brooks, Coach Brooks, bringing it to the table.
Chris Brown, Coach Brown, CV, bringing it to the table, doing it.
Absolutely. So today, CB, I think we said we was gonna talk about domestic violence and alcohol.
Oh yeah, very much needed topic to be spoke about.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure a lot of us have had those experiences with drinking and people that's in relationships that, you know, people don't know how to talk with their mouth and use their words. So sometimes things happen. People get loud, and people start putting hands on each other.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, and that needs to be addressed, right? It's like an elephant in the room whenever somebody say somebody got a DV on their record or something like that.
Right.
But if you're in recovery and you coming out of that lifestyle, you coming out of that darkness, that needs to be talked about.
Yes, it does.
Because the reason why that stigma can't stay on you if you done been through that and you know what caused it, why you was going through what you was going through, and what made you do what you did.
Right,
you know,
right.
It's, you know, so change is necessary, and we got to acknowledge the change.
I got several domestic violences. Like I said, domestic violence it stems further than just any physical abuse. It can be emotional, mental abuse. You know, anywhere from name calling to throwing a glass of water on someone can be a domestic violence. And domestic violence is when you either in a relationship or even people close to you, like your family. They call them domestic disputes.
Yeah.
But it's not an assault unless you into it with someone in the streets, someone you don't know or anything like that. You get into an altercation or maybe a fight, then they say it's an assault. But if it's anything with a spouse or a girlfriend or boyfriend or family or a close friend, they'll say that it's a domestic violence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So the thing is, it's like this. You can have an argument, and like you said, you can call somebody out their name. You can raise your voice. Lord knows we done all did that. And back in the day, we all done did what we call snatch somebody up.
Yeah.
Not saying that that's a cool thing to do.
No, it's not.
But putting your hands on a woman, period, is never a good thing. It's never cool. Never cool.
Never.
So for the times in my life when I was younger and I was drinking and doing all of that, I take all full responsibility for all of those mistakes that I will never make again. And if you a man out there and you've done that, do the same thing, man. Take some time and reflect and realize that, especially if you bigger, you know what I mean?
Right.
You probably got more, you way stronger. You know what I'm saying, by nature. Men are bigger and stronger, and we warriors by nature. But when you drinking and you drugging and you all going through all of that with all those emotions and that anger, it could get out of hand.
Yeah.
You know, it can really get out of hand. Lord knows that you don't want to hurt nobody. You know, so it's time to take some time and reflect and realize that that's somebody's daughter. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's mama, somebody's sister, and the queen, the goddesses and the queens of this earth, of this world. We can't hurt them. We got to do everything in our power to protect them. Actually, that's what we must do. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we're here for now.
Right.
You know, to address that and stop letting people sweep that under the rug. You know, step out that darkness, take that responsibility. And now, you know what I'm saying now, because when you know better, you do better. You're going to show better.
But you know what I found out through the years, what I learned with this interacting with people, period, especially in relationships, that a lot of relationships deal with people. I'm going to say it like this. A lot of people is dealing with things from their childhood, from years ago. Like, say for instance, if they was abused as a child, whether their daddy was an alcoholic coming in the house, slapping them around, or calling them names, or jumping on their mother, or even sexual assault, or molestation. And I'm not just talking about the women. I'm talking about the men also. But probably because I'm a guy, I'm talking to the women, but at the same time I'm talking to the guys also who is experiencing these type of things. And what I'm saying though, Brooks, is they bring these things that they never dealt with as a child or a teenager or whatever happened into a relationship. And here it is, the person in the relationship is lost, don't have a clue what's going on, and don't know why that this person display a certain behavior. Always got an attitude, and a lot of times these things has nothing to do with the person they're in a relationship with.
At all.
You know, and that's all I wanted to bring to that point concerning that, because maybe you want to say something concerning that.
Yeah, actually, because that's called carrying baggage.
Right.
You know, in most relationships, a lot of the problems is from baggage that's being brought in that had nothing to do with the new person that you're getting involved with. So, like you said, a lot of us, man, in the community of recovery and just in our community, period, we came up in that era where domestic violence was prevalent. It was the thing. That was like men would always say that that's what you're supposed to do, is that type of stuff when they come home. They thought that was the thing to do when it really wasn't.
No.
We was being raised totally wrong about that. But it was up to us to break that cycle.
Right.
But as far as like people being molested and touched on and things that was happening by adults to young children, that type of stuff caused a lot of addiction and drinking too. Those are root causes of addiction, mental illnesses, and everything like that. And all of that type of stuff play a part in your adulthood. And we so mixed up that we don't even know why we feel the way we feel, why we so full of anger, and why we got all this misdirected and misguided aggression towards each other. We don't even realize that's stemming from all of that trauma.
It's stemming from all that. You know, and that's something that we should have dealt with that. But if, you know, as a child, if your parents don't take you somewhere for counseling, any type of traumatic counseling, and deal with the situation, or even talk about it, then that's like they're hiding it like in the inside. It's like it's like cancer do in your body. It go hide behind your liver or go hide behind an organ. And people don't even, and the doctor don't even know that you got cancer. But then one day it reveals itself. That's the same way with these hidden emotions and feelings and hurt that's inside of people. It go hide somewhere. Then that one day in the relationship, it shows its face.
It come out. It explode like boom, and you don't even know. But
it's
like
the child within.
But like you said, man, a lot of the adults in our community, like our parents and stuff like that, didn't know what to do. But, because it's they don't have the access to the education. One of the main resources that we need is education about these things, man, because it causes the personality disorders. You know, it causes the substance abuse. That's why our cultural attitudes is so messed up towards each other, because guess what? In my community, we come up a certain type of way, but across the bridge, it was it's a whole nother thing. You know, they don't even realize that, you know, what we going through in our households. So they don't know. They come home to dinner and supper. You know what I'm saying? We was coming home to boiling hot dogs. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes. So like the cultural differences made a big difference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, culturally, it does. It does. I notice that when I go around different races and people, that the culture, that it is a difference that one culture might do things one way, and here it is, by us being black, we do things a certain way. And then we go to our Hispanic brothers and sisters to a wedding that they conduct. They do it a certain way. I went to one of my co-workers' management wedding this past Saturday, and they did some things similar to any wedding, but they did some things culturally that they do in their culture as being Caucasian. That they did at their wedding, and it wasn't a bad thing. It was actually a good thing, because it's okay to be different.
Yeah,
people gotta understand that it's okay for you to be different. It's okay for me to be different. It's okay for them to be different.
Yep. It's necessary. Diversity is necessary because if everybody was the same, then it's boring. Like the music today, like the rap. Everybody want to be a killer and a drug dealer on the rap. It's boring. I don't want to hear it no more. You know what I'm saying? Talk about something different. Talk about something that really means something.
Uplifting. Give me some knowledge.
Yeah.
You didn't give me no type of, like they say in the street in slang, you didn't give me no game.
No game, no jewels, no nothing. You just know how to kill people and sell drugs. And rap.
And then a lot of them that's rapping that garbage haven't even did it. So, you can be whatever you want on a rap song.
Mm-hmm.
Just like guys incarcerated, they tell guys all different types of stories, same way in these streets. So that takes us to music. People try to blame music on a lot of domestic disputes.
But you hear the guys in the song. I'll smack my bitch up, beat my bitch ass, and she do this and she do that. That's the lingo. Right. That's the lingo. That's the language. And then the thing is, it's the women too, because they be right with it. They be standing right there while I smack my bitch and do this and do that, and he point at her, and she right here, and she allowing that to be said.
In agreement with it.
Yeah, and she basically saying, okay, she giving them permission to treat her that way.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like I said, it ain't no such thing when it comes to me pointing out or us pointing out something that's obvious. It's not victim shaming. It's just putting the light on it. Like if you got a man and you know that he keeps saying he is a certain type of way. And he treats you a certain type of way, believe him. The same thing with men. If you got a woman that's the same that's doing that, believe her. Don't be surprised and shocked when you find out she a hoe, because she been telling you she a hoe the whole time, and now you want to beat her up.
Well, watch this though. A lot of times how we meet people is the way they are.
Right.
If I'm in the bar and you leave and go home with me, and I go home with you.
Yep.
What else is it? I don't know you.
And we don't
you
know,
don't know
we
me.
know each other. We done did all this.
So, but watch this. We would get in a relationship with someone we barely knew, maybe had intercourse or any type of sexual relations on the first night. So, how would I view you?
Yeah.
So when the woman or the guy displays the same behavior from how the person met them, because if I met you and you had a man at the time, and you get on the phone and say, I'm doing this, and that, and I know you're lying because you're sitting there with me.
Right.
Why would
I'm looking at you lie to your man.
And then I'm in a relationship with you,
yeah.
and you in the same behavior, I know when you're lying. Why? Because you did it around me.
But you invited that into. I done invited you into my life.
Right.
So now I done invited that drama. So basically it's self-inflicting. You just inflicted that on yourself because you knew what you was dealing with.
Exactly. And then watch this. This brings me to say this. For those of us that do get upset to the point that you feel like you will put your hands on a woman, and also women, if you feel like you're going to put your hands on this man, then what are some things that we can share with them to avoid any type of confrontation or what they call that, de-escalate the situation?
Okay, that's good. I think that the first thing that you should do is, instead of getting mad when you start talking, and when you start feeling it as a man, when you start feeling them emotions coming out, it's okay to walk away. Don't stop. You got to take your pride out of it. Say, no, time out.
Time out.
Take your pride out of the whole equation, because pride kills, literally. Because if a woman if your woman saying some things and hurting your ego, because it ain't nothing like a man with a hurt ego, especially if he drunk or high. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't gonna let it go.
He not gonna let it go.
Not every man. Some men can do it. Not everybody.
But see, that's when you got control. You got your ego in check.
Right.
You got people that be dealing in feelings all the time. That's their whole.
A lot of people.
Their whole existence. You got to quit dealing in feelings. You know, but all of this, I love you this, I love you that, and what they do is they give they all. And when you say get a all, that means that they done did everything sexually that a man can do to a woman. That in some communities will humiliate a man if somebody know what you doing in the bedroom. But see, they put all of this stuff out there. Oh, I done did this to her, I done did that to her. Now you know another guy doing it to her. Right. The same thing and probably better. Don't let her tell you that though, because I'm telling you, she'll crush your ego. She'll tell you my man across town doing it way better than you.
She got make you mad. You know, a woman will tell you, oh, that's why you smoke crack. No, that man don't smoke no crack. Mm-hmm. But that's to make him mad. She'll even say that you like the that's why you they'll say you like you know what I'm saying. Because I don't want to. We know. They know. They're calling you like that. You like you gay.
Call him the man.
And when he's straight, a lot of guys they can't handle that. You know I ain't gay, and then he putting them hands on her, snatching her up, and then that's her excuse because she knew this man. Nah, I ain't excusing his behavior at all.
No,
but this right here, this be the very point when the guy get to the point when he hears certain things that he's not and does it, she pushes button. And I'm not excusing his behavior of putting his hands on that woman, but that woman knew from previously dealing with him that was going to push his buttons. And then as soon as he put his hands on her, she called and locked it up. Then
it seemed like that's what she was waiting on.
Right. A lot of women will not only get him locked up, then they'll go bind him out after she get him locked up.
It's gonna happen.
So this pattern of back and forthness. You got to be fed up somewhere. If I got to push your buttons, and some women, believe it or not, think a man don't love them unless they put their hands on.
That's where it came from back in the day.
I don't want no involvement in nothing like that.
I had a woman told me that before back in the day because I never did that.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand it until one day we arguing, and it started being a little shoving match and snatching up. So that was her way of thinking that's where the love was at back then.
Right.
But that's not, luckily, I got out of that situation. But the thing is, we definitely not putting this on women, because guess what men do? Men emotionally abuse women to the point where they will want to put hands on a man. They want to do a lot more worse things to a man. And
how that woman self-esteem so low that a man can't even compliment her because the guy she was dealing with for years been downgrading her and making her feel so bad, calling her fat, ugly, and you skinny, and you need to go eat. Our big beautiful women out there, don't feel bad because someone called you out your name, because an abusive person will even abuse the skinny woman. Make her feel like she need to eat to get big. So anybody that's coming with these emotional and mental abuses towards you, you don't have to deal with it. You can release, you can get away from it. There's different resources out there that can assist you in getting away from situations like that. Watch this. And we're going to, I'm going to try to remember to get them some resources also.
Okay.
And if you just comment, hit us in the comment down there, and we give you resources in the Saginaw Bay City, Midland area.
Yeah.
But also, what I want to say also is that what things I found out is that is effective, but it don't always have a positive outcome when trying to leave. And what I mean is, instead of arguing with a person back and forth, I just leave.
Yeah.
I quit talking to you.
Yep.
I ain't gotta talk to you.
Honestly, that makes a person even
matter.
But but that ain't the goal, right? That ain't what we really want to do. As you get older, you really need to learn how to communicate, and so
that's the key.
So this is my thing right here. This is when I say that, people think communicating is me talking and you listening, you talking and I'm listening. No, communication is when somebody talk, understand that they are trying to convey a message. So, okay, my intentions are for you to see that I'm really genuine about what I'm trying to get through to you. So, like, you got to understand my just say for instance, if I come home and my woman, quote unquote, is there and she got an issue with me, and I'm tired, I've been working all day, and she want to talk. But I keep blowing her off and go, all right, just go ahead and say what you're gonna say, and then I don't listen good enough to understand what she's saying. Right. Then we're gonna keep having the same problem. You know what I'm saying? Right. You gotta try to understand and put yourself in her position, or put yourself in that position, so you can see exactly where they're coming from.
Right, and that's where listening comes in.
Yeah.
Communication will not be effective if one person is talking and the other person is constantly interrupting them. Yep. You gotta let that person talk. Let them get off their chest what they gotta say, and when they're finished, then you can either comment on it or you say what you gotta say. Yeah. But while you talking, they gotta let you say what you gotta say. Right. And my whole thing is this in communication: you gotta be able to agree to disagree. Even if we don't agree on the same thing, we gotta agree to disagree. Okay, that's how you feel about the situation. This is how I feel about the situation. How can we come to a mutual agreement to so that won't affect our relationship with us moving forward?
Exactly.
See what I'm saying?
Makes sense. Yep, that makes sense. So, and comprehending when somebody's saying, because you can be talking to somebody, and it can be your tone, it can be your mannerisms, the way you move. Right. Your intentions is with all love. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm talking, sometimes my voice might sound away. Sometimes I might get an expression on my face. So what you perceive from my message that I'm trying to convey to you, you looking at something else, and you interpreting it a total different way than it need to be interpreted. I'm saying I'm speaking out of love, but you read my body language with you ever had a text message that you read and it probably seemed like this person was texting with a smart mouth type of, you know what I'm saying, texting with an attitude. Right. People be getting those little feelings and they be getting all those little emotions mixed up instead of just looking at the message.
It's like, and also that brings me to say this, because I gotta touch on this. Why? Because there's 2 domestics on my record right now, and I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything for them domestics to be on my record. But what came back to haunt me, even on the 4th one that sent me to prison, what came back to haunt me was my previous record.
The one that you know that you did.
Yeah, all the other things I did. Yeah. When it came down to this domestic, where I was lied upon about from a person I have children with, and they used that because they was mad at me. They used the system to convict me and send me to prison. See what I'm saying?
Got to be careful with that. You got to be.
And I'm saying it because there's somebody out there going through the same thing or went through the same thing. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, and this is a whole nother podcast. Mm-hmm. Going to prison did help make me become a better guy than what I used to be. But I went to prison for a crime I didn't commit. On that day, they said I committed it. Mm. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm bitter. I'm not bitter. I even prayed for the person who lied on me when I went to prison. And I ain't talking about no year, no 15 months. I did 39 months. That's 3 years, 3 months. Mm. Did a year on tele when I got out and did 15-month parole. Mm. You know? But that helped motivate me in what I'm doing now. Helping people in homelessness, helping people in addiction, helping people find their way back to school. And resources they need to sign up for college.
Hope. You giving them
providing hope. Same thing you doing. Yep. So our experience do play a big role in the recovery field.
Yeah, and the thing is, man. So when people see this and when people listen to what we're saying, if you get anything out of this. This is for anybody that's going through, trying to figure out how to not deal with things in a physical way. As a man, you just have to realize that violence ain't gonna solve nothing. Being violent towards somebody, especially somebody that is physically weaker than you, it ain't never a good look to put your hands on somebody like that. You know, period. It ain't no good look to use your hands, period, unless it really came down to it and it was necessary to defend yourself.
Right.
But if you are having those issues, my man, listen. We here, we done been there, we done that. We here to talk. We're not here to try to charge nobody, but we here to talk. Like, if you got that feeling that something going on and you feeling like you finna do something that you're gonna regret later, man, listen, you can reach out to us anytime. And if we can talk you down, bro. I'm telling you, we can talk you down. But just understand that us as peers, we've been there and we've done that and ain't gonna do it again. You know what I'm saying? And we could tell you what we did to get us to where we are right now.
What you suggest for that guy who was experiencing in that relationship, because maybe the woman think he's cheating with another woman, and by calling the police, knowing he's in jail, he's not with the other woman. What do you say for them guys who are in them relationships that get out of jail and go right back to that same situation?
Same thing, that he need to make sure that he put it, like, literally the last group that we had over there at TriCap, there was a guy in there for that.
Right.
And I say, you going back home to her? He was like, yeah, because it was just this and that. I would say this. You will end up back in there.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A relationship should be organic. A relationship don't necessarily have to be stress-free, but a relationship should not consist of a bunch of vendettas, revenge, and violence, and I'm trying to get back on this and get back on that. That's not a good relationship. It's toxic. Right. It's really toxic, bro. And that goes for females too. Like I said, we're not downing no females, because this same shoe that we talking to men can go on the same foot as a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Because women, I know women that be beating their boyfriend ass too. But and I say that because y'all know, it's the same thing. You know, it's not no one-sided thing. Look that up. Do some statistics on that. Because women out here, they out here beating their men down too. Which ain't cool.
The same one that lied on me and sent me to prison hit me in the back of the head one time. You know, them glasses, like mug glasses, got the handle.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about the coffee cup, but like
a beer mug.
Like a beer mug.
Yeah.
You hit me in the back of my head. I had to go to Covenant and get stitches. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. And that's something that actually happened. Now, I ain't saying I'm always innocent, man, but when you realize some things in your life that you made a mistake on and you choose to do better and you move forward, there are some things that's against you when you choose to do good, and they work against you. So they take what you the bad part of what you did in the past, and they use it to benefit them in the future, for the present and the future.
Yep.
So I didn't hold that against the person or anything like that. But I'm gonna tell you something. When me going to prison, how I interact with people is totally different. You know what I'm saying? I was the type of person, if I didn't want to hear what you had to say, I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Now, even if I disagree with you, I'll listen and try to get an understanding on where the person is coming from. You see what I'm saying? Because listen here. In the past, I could have been, and also this, I had to understand this, Brooks, that, like you said, us being a man, us being men, we can intimidate that woman just by what we say and how we standing over her, how we are looking at them, how we are approaching them. That's a threatening, intimidating behavior.
Yep.
A lot of us don't realize that we do that on a regular basis, not just towards our women, towards our family, our friends, and the children. Some of your children don't want to come up to you and talk to you because it scares them.
Yep.
So, a little advice for everyone, men and women. Learn how to talk to your children. Learn to communicate with children also. Why? That way they can share and tell you anything that's going on in their life.
Yeah.
You don't want them hiding anything from you. You don't want your child scared to tell you she made a mistake and got pregnant. You don't want your son to tell you he made a mistake and he did some cocaine. Because you're going to call them all out their name, put your hands on. No. Try to get to understand, make your children feel safe and comfortable to come talk to you about anything.
Yes, sir. You're exactly right. Sometimes they see, you can get so comfortable and get them so comfortable to where they trust you enough to come to you before they do any of that shit.
Right.
So don't scare them away from the safety and comfort of them being able to come to a parent and talk about those type of things. I totally agree, 100%. And sometimes we do, as men, we are like, because we go to the gym, we work out, we do us. And then we got that street edge to us. So sometimes it might come across a bit intimidating if we standing up over somebody or if we raise our voice and we talking. So we got to be mindful of that. Sometimes we don't be. Sometimes we just look at it because it's normal to us, but to other people it might be looked at as a act of violence or a threatening act towards somebody.
Right.
But it's not like that all the time. Sometimes, but you just got to be competent and culturally competent of where you at and what you're doing. But that's another episode, bro.
Another episode. Before we leave, though, I got a couple right here. Underground Railroad can assist you in domestic violence. Also, those in Bay City, you got the Bay Area Women's Center. That's for domestic violence. You got the Domestic Violence and Battery Resource Guide, state of Michigan. You also got shelters in the area, the Rescue Mission, RCO, Rescue Mission for the women. If you're a man that need to go somewhere, you can also contact Underground Railroad and RCO. Mustard Seed, the Mayor's House. Yep. Well, actually, Mayor's House for those coming out of rehab and incarceration. Yep. Well, it's still a good resource in case you was incarcerated or went to rehab and need aftercare. They're good to contact the Mayor's House.
So, okay, Women of Colors. That's in Saginaw, Michigan, Tuscola Street, 989-737-9286. You said the shelter house? That's
the Bay Area Women's Center. That's a good one too.
Bay Area Women's Center. Okay,
yeah, it's on Manning Road, I think, ain't it?
Bay City, Michigan. The phone number is 989-686-4551.
Don't forget about Saginaw Psychological Services also for domestic violence if they need counseling.
Yep, they got that's 989-799-2100.
And also,
you got the Underground Railroad.
Underground
in
Railroad.
Washington in Saginaw, Michigan. That's 755-0411.
And I believe Guided Glory over there in Michigan, North Michigan, is dealing with trauma. They specialize in trauma also. I don't have the number on hand, but if you want the phone number, I can drop you. Just get in the comment section.
In the comments.
And I can get you that information.
No doubt. Yeah. But once again, that's us bringing it to the table. It might be a little bit too real for some, but we're going to stay real. We're going to stay raw just for y'all. I appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all for listening and taking the time to watch us. Please interact and drop us some comments. You know what I'm saying? Like what you see. If you don't like it, tell us why you don't like it. Share it. You know what I'm saying? Because this jewels that we putting out, you know what I'm saying? I think we walking in our purpose right now, and we're going to continue to elevate and do everything we can to motivate and help our people out as we live daily and make our mistakes. We correct them by watching what we do as peers. You know, nobody's perfect. We're gonna make mistakes. We just got to jump back straight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But until next time, bro.
In a minute.
Deuces.